OTAs start in less than a week, and finally, we're starting to get some Trey Lance hype from around the 49ers organization. It's in the form of an article from Matt Barrows, who, as you remember, was led into halftime by Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers coaching staff to write a feature on what the 49ers do at halftime, meaning Matt Barrows is connected and trusted and someone they let peek behind the curtain. So he just so happened to get an interview with Trey Lance's quarterback coach, who explained how much Trey Lance has improved his throwing mechanics. And now everyone's talking about Trey Lance. His stock is up. The Niners believe in him. And this is right before OTAs start. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of an interesting way to kick off the offseason. It's almost like it's been coordinated. It's almost like the 49ers are controlling the narrative of their quarterback room. And let's go back to previous news cycles. Let's not get focused on right now. Get caught up in the present. It started this offseason with Matt Barrows again, who got that fantastic nugget about Brock Purdy and his S2 cognition scores. I had never heard of the S2 test. I don't think anyone had heard of the S2 test until Matt Barrows found out that Brock Purdy tested off the charts. And also that article made it seem like Trey Lance didn't do anything special in that test, although it's been revealed that he also tested off the charts. Not quite as well as Brock. So that's how the offseason kicked off. Oh my God. Brock Purdy hype. The Niners love Brock Purdy. They think he could be a franchise quarterback. Then he had surgery and a lot of we don't really know kind of stuff is going on with him. So all of a sudden the hype shifted to Sam Darnold. And you had Matt Mayoko, also a trusted agent of the organization. Someone someone who's worked around the organization for 4 decades, and breaks news. He says that Sam Darnold is the best thrower of a football the Niners have ever had. When asked about this, Kyle Shanahan a couple weeks later said, yeah, that's a fair thing to say. So then it was Sam Darnold hype season. That went on for a month or two. Went from Brock to Sam, and now it's Trey Lance hype season. So you could argue that the Niners keep changing their mind, or this is not connected to them, or, this is the one hype that matters. Or you could argue that the Niners have now successfully hyped all 3 of their quarterbacks. And now entering the OTAs, there's reason to feel like any one of them can be great. And really the question isn't, do the Niners have a good quarterback? It's they have 3 good quarterbacks. Which one's the best? And so all offseason, you'll have people saying it's Darnold. No, it's Trey. And if Brock's out there practicing, people will say it's Brock. As opposed to, are any of these quarterbacks good enough? Because that's the question. The Niners are making it seem like they got 3 great quarterbacks. And they have they got the S2 cognition score. They got this Mahomes passing coach. They got whatever you want, Sam Darnold hype, whatever you want to know. They got great quarterbacks. But really, they have 3 question marks at quarterback. 3 question marks at quarterback. Not 1, not 2. They got 3. The one constant, the one guy who's not a question mark, Jimmy Garoppolo. Say what you want about him. We know he's not good enough to win a Super Bowl. But with Jimmy Garoppolo on this team, they're not going to miss the playoffs either. You can't say that about any of these 3 quarterbacks right now. You don't know what Brock Purdy's going to be like coming off a torn UCL. He may not play at all this year. You don't know what Trey Lance is like. You don't know what Sam Darnold's like. So it's a pretty scary year for the 49ers. And instead of having the conversation all offseason be, dude, are they going to miss the playoffs? Do they not have a good enough quarterback? Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to outshine them on the Raiders? Like, did the Niners really mishandle this? The narrative is, the conversation is, man, embarrassment of riches in the Niners quarterback room. Which one do they go with? Of course they can win with any quarterback, but who's the best quarterback? Well, their record without Jimmy Garoppolo is really bad. So maybe Trey Lance steps up, puts together, a great season with new throwing mechanics. Maybe Brock Purdy returns and you never knew he tore his UCL. Maybe Sam Darnold just needed to change the scenery. Barring that, this team could have a 2020 season. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So we'll see what happens. I just feel like the Niners are sort of controlling the narrative of their quarterback room. It's not that they have 3 question marks. It's that they have 3 great quarterbacks who could all be franchise quarterbacks, and it's a good problem to have. Yeah, it's a good problem to have, having 3 question marks at quarterback. Sure. Yeah. I mean, now it's Trey Lance optimism season, and there's reasons to be optimistic, but honestly, if you're hyping up 3 quarterbacks, that means you're not really super confident about any of them. And that's the Niners story. The fact that they've gotten this far into their, tenure, year 7, and they still have no plan at quarterback. Put it this way. If you were to grade the 49ers, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, on what they've done as an organization, you would give them a bunch of A's. A lot of A's. But in the category of the quarterback position, your plan for it, your execution for it, you have to give it an F. They've had no plan. The original plan was get Kirk Cousins. They didn't see that through. They abandoned that plan to get Jimmy Garoppolo. Then they kept him longer than they wanted to. They determined he wasn't the right one for them. They couldn't get rid of him. So Operation Get Rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, that was a failure for a long time. Then the third plan was develop Trey Lance. They gave up on that. Well, they didn't give up on it, but they pretty much botched that for 2 years. And now the plan is have a quarterback competition between Sam Darnold and Trey Lance, and then say that the winner of that doesn't really matter because Brock Purdy's the franchise quarterback anyway. You have to give the Niners an F on the quarterback position portion of the team building, which sucks because it's the most important part of the team building process. And they've got A's at linebacker, D-line, coaching staff, all of it. Scouting department, A. Quarterback position, F. Plan for it, there was none. There's been 3. And I don't know if there is one right now. So what they can do is, instead of getting a plan or finding one that works, they can just control the narrative. First it was they like Brock, then it was they like Sam, now they like Trey. They like all their quarterbacks. Is Brandon Allen next?